Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Shemi Shai Shemakakwadash, double honors to the other apostles and other bishops, a great millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yashuan. And what's going on right now is the least of the flock is doing their thing. All right. Now, how are they doing it? Whatever's going on at the so-called diplomatic table, how is it that the small hats are the one dictating? Okay, is this war about Babylon the Great and Iran, or is it about the small hats? Because the small hats are the one dictating the pace and the flow. So let's establish that up front. Jeremiah, let's go to 49. Jerry 49 and 20. See if we can get there in the KJV, where it's easy to understand. 20. All right, let's get up in there so we can look at some of this. Therefore, Jeremiah 49 and 20 in the King James. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, the people of Teman, against all of Edom, including the Amalekites. All right. And his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, meaning all of them. Surely the least of the flock. Now he's specifically talking about a section of the flock, the least, right? Like the 2/3, for example. You got the 1/3, you got the 2/3. Over here, you got the least of the flock. What flock? Edom. Who is the least? Amalek is the least of the flock, hiding themselves. Well, all of Edom is hide themselves, but Amalek calling somebody else Amalek. Right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. What do you mean draw out these other nations to go? Right now they're talking about peace, but what is Amalek doing? Drawing them out into World War III. Okay. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. World War III is going to make everybody's house desolate. Who's doing this? We said yes to the ceasefire. Right after they stopped shooting, we said we didn't say that. And if you say otherwise, it's anti.
Essential. Now, the United States wants Iran not to build a nuclear weapon, not to have any about the development.
Right after I settle this devil down, we'll figure out what's going on here.
Of this quote negotiation. Now, Bibi's government allegedly a couple days ago was angry that the United States wasn't talking to. I mean, like, we're involved here. Like, it's just a strange situation. I spoke yesterday with Vice President J.D. Vance. He called me from his plane on the way back from Washington. He reported to me in detail as
they always do. Okay, so this is the least of the flock, right? Doing what? Drawing out who? All these other nations, right? Getting them into this war. All right, watch this. Back it up here.
Yesterday with Vice President J.D. Vance. He called me from his plane on the way back from Washington. He reported to me in detail, as the people of this administration do every day.
When he talks, right now, when they have that interpreter, it's because he's probably speaking in that old Yiddish, and that's when they really talk to each other and let it fly, if you will. They ain't holding nothing back because they know that supposedly we don't understand. And then within what they call Yiddish, they have their slang so they can really hide what it is that they're trying to say until somebody who knows what they're saying comes in and interprets it. So.
He reported to me in detail, as the people of this administration do every day, on the development of the negotiations. In this case, the explosion in the negotiations. The explosion came from the American side, which was not willing to tolerate the blatant violation of the agreement to enter negotiations by Iran. Essentially,
now, the United States wants Iran not to build a nuclear weapon, not to have any enriched uranium, not to produce any enriched uranium, and the Iranians like, we're going to need it now more than ever.
the agreement was that there would be a ceasefire and Iran would immediately open the crossings. They didn't do that. The Americans were not willing to accept it. He also conveyed to me that the central issue on the table from the perspective of President Trump and the United States is the removal of all enriched material and ensuring that there is no more enrichment in the coming years, and this could be for decades.
Yeah, listen, I just think this is not looking good, as a lot of people are highlighting how Jared Kushner was smirking, happy, behind J.D. Vance here, and a lot of people are trying to make a lot of this particular case here just predominantly on Jared Kushner. Now, there's a reason for this, especially with British diplomats specifically kind of pointing him out. Slender Man himself, as some people called him, as the main person responsible here for allegedly derailing these talks. That's the accusation. Who really knows what's really happening behind closed doors?
We know. The least of the flock is joy. They're not getting what they want. What does the least of the flock want? They want a war with Iran. Been warned. They got their war. They're just losing. So they're trying to figure out how to win the war, right? Through, I don't know, PR. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. This is the third time they stopped the war from getting their ass whooped. And now what do? Because you can't win. See, the Most High determines who wins the war. Right now, the small hearts are like, well, wait a minute. What? Stop, time out, back to the drawing board. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. This is what they're doing.
Doors, right? Because a lot of these negotiations are done privately. Alex Jones had some interesting things to say about Kushner and Bibi. And Bibi literally slept in Jared Kushner's bed when he was a teenager.
Literally.
Like that. That's the type of relationship that they have. Now, I think a lot of the moves that are being made right now are not going to be the best financially. And that's one reason, just really quickly, before we begin and getting into more of Alex Jones's videos and commentary on all of this, we wanted to tell you about TikTok.
He's going to hawk some shit, but I'm going to go over here. Not to Carol. All right, so how do the Carmanians really feel about what's going on? U.S. does not recognize our rights. Iranian envoy, his explosive remarks on peace talks. Here's what really happened, okay? And whatever these guys are trying to say. So let's get their perspective. We'll go back and listen to whatever Luke is going to bring out next. But what do we see here? Okay. What happens after these talks? Let's examine this real quick. What are the talks? What kind of talks are they? They're peace talks, right? Peace and safety. What shall come? Everybody knows this, but how does it manifest in the real world? We'll read it right here in the NIV. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly, as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. Let's look at this real quick. Let's ask this. How many times has the West called for peace talks and Israel specifically. Attacked. This is on the record. The opposition. Iranian people. I don't know what to put. It's because it didn't. The people. It didn't attack the Iranian people. It da 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 da. This is a very specific question. AI. Watch it run. AI thinking, searching. Two, nigga. Just say two. Based on reports regarding the conflict, have repeatedly called for de-escalation. I asked you a specific question. According to a report, while those negotiations were taking place, the United States announced it would begin a blockade. What? No. What about right now? For instance, what? On around targeting what? Okay, so see how they hid that? Based on reports regarding the conflict, so here's what they're saying, that Israel has continued strikes on Iran, sometimes concurrently with those diplomatic efforts. How many times? You can't even count. So here's what they're saying, they never stopped. According to a report, okay. So have they stopped yet? Right now? Iran has frequently labeled the negotiations as meaningless, while Israeli strikes persist, particularly during negotiations in Islamabad. That's talking about right now, where Iranian officials reported excessive demands from Washington. So they're uh, striking, right? Now, during negotiation, particularly during negotiations in Islamabad, when did that take place? Over the weekend. So, whatever this is bullshit, right? Uh, because how do you, while motherfuckers are fired, how do you talk about peace while people are bombing each other?
We're all a ruse in order to lull in the Iranians to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to let their defenses down. And then, boom, came the Mossad type of sneak attack.
Mossad. What are we talking about?
Bits of CBD. I really like this stuff. TakeCalm.com. Check it out. Now, let's get back to Kushner, who's being accused of sabotaging these peace deals. So of course, a lot of people are saying these like peace deals and negotiations that were happening before this war started were all a charade. We're all a ruse in order to lull in the Iranians to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to let their defenses down. And then, boom, came the Mossad type of sneak attacks.
So what are we talking about here? And they got this thing. Who has this thing programmed to speak on their behalf? Because that's what it's doing, right? No, it said right there, yeah, it's saying that these motherfuckers are guilty. Fair use to everything. Fair use. You know what it is. Okay, you're still doing it. All right? Right here, you're saying what you have done. See, this is how you got to get up in there, right? Because the devil will tell you the truth while denying, making himself the victim. Wasn't me. We're going to say no, right, to these talks, even though we said yeah. Okay, we said yeah, the talks are underway, but really we said no, so we're over here still bombing. We can bomb it. Well, you guys are talking about it, we're bombing. Let's go back here. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains out of prison. That's what you see going on right there. War and rumors of war, you see that. Peace and safety, what is this? Let's read the whole thing. 1 Thessalonians 5:3 in the King James. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about some of the most despicable behavior on the face of the earth. Carol. Get out of there, Carol. Okay?
We're also getting some updates now as President Trump begins his Hormuz blockade later this evening. Iranian ambassador Mr. Fatali has spoken exclusively with CNN News 18 on why peace talks failed. Let's listen in.
This is right now. 5 hours.
To begin with, why do you think the peace talks in Islamabad have failed?
You know that we re-entered in the negotiation table despite of we know their intention, we know the history of U.S. breaches of commitment, and but we have some conditions, and I think that because of they had unlawful demands and they don't recognize our rights and our
Unlawful demands, right? What is that? Unlawful demands. What is that? Unlawful. Unlawful. Unjust laws. Yeah. Slovakia, bear with me. Woe. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have described, right? To do what? To deprive, Slovakia, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and that take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the rich. What? Rob the. Where did I go? Slovakia. Rob the fatherless, Slovakia. Okay. To turn aside the needy from judgment. Let's read it up here. To deprive the poor, NIV, to deprive the poor of their rights and withhold justice from the oppressed. Of my people making widows their prey, robbing the fatherless. I was really talking about Jake, but deprive the poor of fair treatment. In this case, the Iranians are being treated, right, like they treat niggas, basically. Fair trial, justice. Okay. Unfair treatment. That's what they're complaining of. Listen to this guy. Oh, yeah, they trying to treat us like we just, hell, we're the Persians, nigga. Shit.
Recognize our rights and our interests. I think that in this round of negotiations, we have no any result.
Are you saying that Iran will not compromise on its nuclear program, A, and B, its uranium enrichment?
These are our principles, our strategic principles.
We are the
They
Persians.
know very well.
You know what it is.
And we have, this is our condition. Enrichment.
Here's our conditions,
and the
nigga.
nuclear issues and war reparation and the sanction reliefs.
The U.S. is all.
Here's our conditions. Okay. We got missiles. We got drones. We got control of the strait. And we got mine. We are thinking we can run you guys the hell up out of there right now if we want to. Okay. This is Joel 3 and 10. In any language, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks in the spirit. Let the weak say, I am strong. This guy's saying, look, man, jig is up. You niggas ain't got no strength. Certainly not in the Gulf. Let's go.
To blockade the Strait of Hormuz. Their navy will be blockading the Strait of Hormuz. What is Iran's response to that? Is this going to lead to renewed conflict now?
Nah.
They announced. And they announced that they want to block. But you know that in the 21st century, and the country that has 15 neighbors.
In the real world.
And they have experiences in the sanctions. They impose different kinds of sanctions. And during the 4 decades, but what was the result? They started the war with Iran. After 42 days, they said that we want to have a negotiation about the ceasefire. Yes, this is the Iran.
Meaning you got your ass whipped after 42 days. Okay. Don't come over here with that crazy shit. You want that negotiation. That's what this is about. Now he's trying to force it. Right? We'll see what happens there too. He's done.
I think that in this case, they destroyed and disturbed the world economy. And you can see.
They destroyed the world economy. Now it's all jacked up and everybody's mad at the whore. Okay, so anyway, here's where we are, all right? Where are we? Well, sudden destruction is jumping off right now. Does anybody know?
With drones that they have imported into the Iranian country that were just stagnant, they're just waiting there, and then had the exact coordinate, boom, blasted off and took out a lot of Iranian political and educational leadership, right? And military leadership. Now, the Iranian diplomatic corps is saying that Bibi and Kushner, quote, sabotaged the peace deal in the 11th hour. Now, can you believe the Iranian diplomatic?
They sabotaged the peace deal in the 11th hour. Let's go back to where we started. Okay. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Okay. What are they doing? Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, Jared Edom, Cushner, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, Jared Kushner, is working on behalf of who? You got J.D. Vance there for the United States. Jared Kushner is there for who did Israel send for peace negotiations? I'll wait. Look it up, right? Kushner is playing a double role, isn't he? All right. Who did? Okay, so they're going. Who's first of all? Who's going to the table? Is Israel going to the table, or is Babylon going to the table? Does Israel even have a seat at the table? So then, what is Kushner's role? If literally Bibi used to sleep in his bed, and when we say that literally, it means that is factual. If they didn't make that story up, it's in there that dude used to give up his bed when Netanyahu was in town at the Kushner residence. He used to give up his bed to Bibi. Okay, that's how close they are in family or whatever. And Bibi, as far as small hats go, is way up there in as far as visibility. So what does that say about Kushner? Where's he at? What did he grow into? What did they have him involved in? If he's speaking, how is he doing negotiations, right, for Babylon the Great and speaking on behalf of the small hats at the same time? How did he get that role, right? And see, when we speak of this, 2nd Ezra 9 and 3 in the GNT, there will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigue, unstable leaders. Who's that? Is that just Donald Trump? No. Jared Kushner seems to be running everything. He's above Donald Trump. He's above Hegseth. Who's going over there and speaking? Bibi didn't go. Donald Trump didn't go. Who went? And who's speaking on whose behalf? Because now remember, it's literal that Bibi slept in Jared's bed. It's literal. So who's speaking for who over there? International intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. Jared is a ruler. Bibi's a ruler. He's a head of state. He's a leader. Okay? Who is Witkoff and who is Jared Kushner? Okay? If we went here, it's Revelation 19 and 19. Who are these people? Who are the kings of the earth? That's Jared. Who's this? Does Jared have an army? I'm sure he does. He has a personal army, right? A lot of these people have personal armies. Adolf Schicklgruber had a personal army within the SS or whatever, right? They got personal little armies. He's a king of the earth. Elon Musk is a king of the earth. All right, he's a clown king. Donald Trump is a king of the earth. He's a clown king, right? Imran Khan. Who is Imran Khan and why is he in prison right now? He's in prison because he was knocking them boots at Princess Di back in the right before she died. All of them were Dodi Al Fayed and them, and it was a problem. You understand? Imran is in prison right now. Ask him why. Okay? He's a king of these are the kings of the earth. Who are these people? And how do they move? The kings of the earth. And their armies. Okay? But who is Jared? He's a king of the earth. He's doing the negotiating. Who is he? They send him. And he says, no, no, go back to war. So whoever's directing Jared, right?
Again, everyone's going to have different sides of version of events here. Who do you choose to Who do you choose to trust here? That's up to you personally, right? But that's what they said. That's the accusation that they made here. We weren't there. We weren't listening to the negotiations, so we don't know exactly what's happening here. As Alex Jones says, pay close attention to the expression on Jared
Kushner's face. These are the Chaldeans. These are the top witches of Babylon. Okay? Doing witchcraft, unrighteous decrees right before your face. And until they get their way, motherfucker, they're going to keep coming. More and more witchcraft. All right? What do they call that thing? I forgot.
face. He is, quote, extremely happy. Now, again, if I'm like, hey, it's like, hey, we're hiring you to negotiate, and we want you to negotiate a deal. We want peace. We want money. We want
Hasbara.
Economic prosperity. We want trade. We want trade routes open. Go. And you fail. Not the time to smirk.
Hasbara. Hasbara. What is Hasbara? What is Hasbro? Hasbara. What is that?
To smirk. Right? That time, ha ha ha. As people are saying, he's the one. He's the one who sabotaged it. Is that the case here? Like, I don't know. Again, we weren't there, but Alex Jones.
This guy's a king of the earth. Who is that dude? Who is he speaking for? Who sent him? How did he go in? What are we watching? What are these negotiations? All right, nigga, are you coming into this new world order, or are we going to drop a motherfucking bomb on you right now? Here's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you the straight. You shut the fuck up and do what we tell you to do. You leave this bitch and you tell me we're going to give you this, and then you're going to shut up and do what the fuck we tell you to do. Are you in or not? Otherwise, you get this fucking neutron bomb. Very useful.
That is what happened here. He posted this cartoon saying the art of the no deal. Mission accomplished, sir. Use no agreement. Thank you, my boy. Keep eyes open here. Now, there's been other people like Kanye West that previously went out and talked about how Jared Kushner was allegedly a handler and sabotaging Trump. That's what he said. Also a lot of wild stuff here, right? Now, Jared Kushner, even in his own admissions, talked about how he's serving as a volunteer.
The small heads are drawing them out. That's what you see. This is all war. Why? They sent him to negotiate what? War? There's a war going on. Part of the war. Stop. Wait, time out. Let's go talk about it. That's part of the war. These niggas are reloading. They got them to stop for a minute. Right? And while they're stopping, somebody is pulling a sneak attack. Come on now. It's all war. What was I going with that? I was going back to where we started. What are they doing? They're drawing them out. Drawing them out into what? Into World War III. Really, they're doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, because he's the one drawing them into the land of Yahweh Shaphat. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Tim. Surely, the least of the flock, Edom, or Amalek, Salakia, shall draw them out. All these nations out into World War III. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. We see. He represents the least of the flock. Don't get it twisted.
But he's administrating the governance of Gaza. He's organizing Article 5 style security guarantees for Ukraine and handling the Iran war. I mean, that's an incredible volunteer portfolio. As of course, it needs to be understood here that when Trump was campaigning, he was saying, oh yeah, Jared Kushner's not going to be involved here. And everyone, including me, I was like, okay, it looks like Jared Kushner won't be involved in this administration. Everyone was like, yay, that's a good sign. He's very much involved. As people are saying, can you guys explain to me why he's such a major part of all of this? As people are saying, he brokered the peace in the Middle East. Raymond. I don't think there's peace in the Middle East right now, brother. By the way of the world, how are you people so dense and ignorant? I don't think there's peace, bro. Like,
Peace and safety.
I don't think there's peace right now. Anyway, other people are saying that, of course, obviously, he's very close. Again, it's kind of weird that the president's son-in-law, who doesn't hold an official position here, is as much involved as he is here. Now, again, he's been a part of the negotiations with Saudi Arabia. If you're going to make the case here, right, you could be like, hey, he gave Saudi Arabia a better weapons deal. He negotiated on behalf of Saudi Arabia for good weapons. That you could say that. I mean, he is very much involved with Bibi, Saudi Arabia, but that's only one side of the coalition, right? There needs to be serious talks and considerations from a peace type of objective here. As Donald Trump responded to the peace negotiations failing by saying, yeah, we're just going to block this shitter from us.
It is Sunday, April 12th, 2026. All of my predictions since this Iran-Israel-U.S. war began back on March 1st have come true because this Strait of Hormuz war with Iran has been war game as much as anything else has. It's up there in the very top few. It's very well known what the scenarios are. It's on record. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, all of them told Trump that this wasn't true what Israel was telling him, that the neocons came in and they lied to Trump. I first broke that a month ago. It's confirmed now by the White House. Absolutely insane. And now Iran has us by the balls because we started this with Israel. They're not going to give the concessions Trump wants. The peace deals I predicted last week fell through. And now Trump has announced he's going to blockade everybody going through the strait and not let Iran get out its oil. Iran's ready to sit there for months or years and play this game of chicken. And I've been saying that will be the next move is a blockade. And why haven't our ships gone in there before when Trump said he was a few weeks ago? Because then they could be hit by all the short range and medium range missiles and artillery. So this is beyond insane. The U.S. will now get the blame even more for the energy crisis that's already spread around the world.
Yeah, Europe's pissed. Mainly Europe that's being affected by this. Some people are saying, I don't care about Europe. Well, again, we have to understand here. There's a reason why a lot of them aren't participating in our kind of war efforts.
Because they need energy. They need that oil.
Kent had some interesting observations to talk about this. Now, here's the rest of what Alex had to say.
Inflation numbers came in last week. It is causing massive inflation in the United States as well. And chain reactions around the planet. Like Taiwan not be able to make chips because they can't get the liquid natural gas. It goes on and on. And Israel knew that when they attacked to drag us into it, that there was a good chance the mules wouldn't fall, but they were going to commit us to a full war and then face saving. And now Trump is in a huge pissing contest with people that psychologically are not going to back down, and I predict the mules are not going to fall.
I'm going to end it right here. Where is it going to go from here? Okay. Everybody knows this, right? Well, let's see. Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are what? Just the beginning. So there's a while. The end is not yet. What? We're just at the beginning of Jacob's trouble, the wars, the famines, the pestilences, everything. This is all these are just the beginning, right? So be not troubled. See that you be not troubled. It's coming. This is the beginning, but the end is not yet. What do you have to do? You have to endure until the end. Verse 13. But he, Matthew 24 and 13, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. All right, so with that, we pray that the electors are edified, you brothers and sisters. Just a quick little, here we are. This is where we are. This is where things are going. We'll put up a World War III update, which basically goes hand in hand with this a little bit later. So until then, shalom.